One thing I'll share at a very practical level is if this resonates with you, that, yeah, maybe I should really try to understand what I truly want. Don't expect miracles in a matter of days and weeks. This journey of looking inward is actually endless. You could spend an entire lifetime trying to understand yourself. And most people spend their entire lifetime not understanding even 5%, 10% of themselves. So this is not a journey that's going to fix everything for you by Monday. Or this weekend I'll spend looking inward, and then, by Monday I'll have it. That's not how it works. Now, if this sounds discouraging, well, you got to start somewhere, right? And you'd be surprised how much progress you can make if you are genuinely interested in pursuing that inward journey, something that folks can start doing right away. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if you ask these questions, you'll have an answer to your career quandary by Monday. In fact, I'll guarantee you that you will not. But I'll also guarantee you that it'll be hard to find career satisfaction if you never start down this journey. So might as well start today. The kinds of things that I like to prompt people with is, number one, what kind of life do you want to create? I know it is a big question, but look, career is part of our life. So we can't make career decisions, stand alone outside of our life, right? That is not how it works. So what kind of life do we want to create? What kind of life do I see for myself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? And then also, what kind of life do I see for myself right now? So kind of getting a better understanding of that, getting some clarity on that. So that's number one. Number two, what are my superpowers? This is in the work context, in the career context, in the job context. Turns out not enough people ask this question about what their superpowers are, right? And what I have found is that you'll find the most joy, you'll find the most sense of expertise and sense of control and sense of making that impact if you are working in roles that align with your superpowers. So that's why it's important to identify, what are my superpowers, right? And if you're not sure, I do get some people sometimes say, Shreyas, I'm not sure what my superpowers are. How can I go figure it out? I will say again, well, deep down, you know what your superpowers are. Maybe you're saying you're not sure because you're not happy with that answer. But so again, that's like, to thine own self be true. As Shakespeare said, you got to be true to yourself. And you have to accept the answer of whatever your superpowers are. The other thing I'll share is, ask a former manager or a wise colleague who's had a high degree of exposure to your work. Now, I choose those words carefully. Don't just ask any manager. Don't even ask necessarily the most charismatic manager you had. Don't even necessarily ask the manager who promoted you the most. It's none of that. It's basically about wisdom. Which of your managers is or has been the wisest? And it might be a manager that had some exposure to your work, but for one reason or another, maybe you didn't get promoted when they were your manager. Doesn't matter. To the degree that you have confidence in their wisdom, doesn't even have to be a manager. It can be a colleague too, a former colleague. So ask them, can you tell me what my superpowers are? Because you've gotten exposure to my work, and allow them to be honest to you, right? So tell them that, look, I want to hear things that I might be unaware of. So don't just tell me things that you think that I want to hear. I do want to hear about things that I'm unaware of. So some interesting conversations sometimes ensue from that, right? Around superpowers. Okay, next prompt is, what type of work energizes you? Look, we all have certain kinds of work that sucks energy from us. And whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing, it is a fact. And we've got to accept that fact. And frankly, we're not going to be able to change that fact. There's a certain kind of work that's going to energize us. There's certain other kinds of work that is not going to energize us. So in my case, for instance, I realized that being able to basically be thinking about product and distribution and how we grow the product was work that energized me. Managing individuals, helping them progress, energized me. However, doing all the other work required to run a large team and org was de-energizing for me. I could do it, I could do a pretty good job with it, but it took away energy. So at some point, I had to accept that. And what that meant, as I understood what type of work energizes me, is I made a decision. Maybe it was like 14, 15 years into my career as a PM. I realized that I don't want to manage large teams. So as the products I built grew, at some point, I handed them off to somebody else. Right. In some cases, as the product was growing, I hired my own boss to deal with all the team management or crap so that I could focus on the work that energizes me, which is working directly with people who are building products, people on my team, and also working on distribution, working on growing the business, working with sales, versus kind of all the tax associated with here are 5 leadership staff meetings that we have to go through. Here's 4 meetings with finance because there is some quarterly ritual or whatever. None of that interested me. It de-energized me. So I tried to find ways in which some other people did that work while I focused on the work that energized me. That also was aligned with my superpowers. And the last prompt I'll share with you is what type of people you love working with. Do you love working with people who are very ambitious and want to go 1,000 miles an hour? Do you like working with people who are extremely collaborative? There are so many signals that we have collected over the years about what type of people we love working with. And so it's useful to look at those signals, what type of cultures we love working in. So for me, those 4 prompts, and I'll just repeat them. What kind of life do I want to create? What are my superpowers? What type of work energizes me? And what type of people I love working with? Those are the questions to ask, right? As we look inward. And again, while we can get some clues from the outside, the real answers to these questions lie within us. And frankly, if we have a decent amount of experience already, 5, 7, 10, 15 years, then we also have the data to look back to be able to figure out what the right answers to these questions might be.